If you could please speak into the microphone. Everyone would like to hear it. Very good. You know, this is Lolita. She is a delightfully needy baby. We're having a little behind the scenes footage again today, friends. Django got a yak chew. Good boy. Look at the chaos of my brain today. Look. Well, first of all, dear God, the laundry. Second of all, yeah, she needs a craft room, friends. She needs one real bad. Look at my poor desk. It's like my brain right there. It is a bowl of spaghetti. You ever hear that terrible thing about women's brains are like a bowl of spaghetti? I resemble that remark. Okay, here's a sneak peek of my new toy. What is that, you say? Well, I had to ask myself the same thing when I saw it at the thrift store. Pause. Let's get into this. You know, welcome back, etc., and so on. You're on YouTube, you know that, right? That's how you got here. Do I really need to do the whole pretend that I'm on TV? We're not on TV. Welcome to my insanity. You chose to come and hang out with me, and I realized that I don't need to do the whole thing. My name's Kat. Do you know me? Did you meet me because you stumbled across me while lurking in other parts of YouTube? Welcome. I'm letting you have a little bit of the outdoors because where I live, it's Minnesota. You may have noticed sweater weather is upon us. Looks nice today. You can't quite tell because my camera's not that fancy hanging, and I don't have the thing that will do anything but bump. Can you see it from here? I don't know if you can. The leaves, they are a changing. It's so funny. We used to make this huge fuss about going to look at the fall leaves. We take my grandma for drives. And now I live on this hillside, and all I have to do is like drive around the block, and I get the fall colors. And I'm just like, oh, look, it's so pretty. And it's like half a mile of just the leaves changing. Here's Lola again. You saw her before. I'm going to try something a little different. I don't really feel like the reason that you guys noticed that there was a huge delay is that editing is a beast. And the process of transferring this information into my computer so that I can then edit it. Oh, it's a horror show. I just don't feel like doing it. So we're going to try and just upload the raw footage. Yeah. If we hate it, or if, I say something stupid and I have to cut it out, or something else happens that I don't want on the internet, I don't know why that would be. I'll return to the usual programming. But again, this isn't actually a TV show. I don't have ratings. Whatever. What am I talking about? I decided that I was just going to come at you like, thank God we don't have smell-o-vision because morning breath / coffee. See how I'm so rosy pink right here? I still had the pillow creases for a hot second. I had one of those weird nights where my little friend, oh, look how alert she is. What are you doing? I wish this was on a swivel there. My little friend over here decided that she absolutely had to get into someone's bedroom, or maybe it was her brother, but they started digging under the doors and yelling at like 2 o'clock in the morning. and then go back to bed till after everybody left. Till after everyone left for work. And then I had a nap. And now it's like 1:30 in the afternoon. It's a Monday. Hi. You like Mondays? Are you a Garfield? And it's October. Chase had a birthday. He is Mr. 7 now. I'm about to have a birthday. It's my favorite time of year. Looking forward to a birthday. I love birthdays. And I think what I'm getting for my present this year is perimenopause, because I have found some new and interesting aspects of myself. Okay, she's off. Yeah, maybe she doesn't want to talk about perimenopause. A lot of people don't. It's fair. It's fair. What have I found in my perimenopausal state? A lot of rage about little shit, like, and some swearing. I always am the swearing, but today I'm just gonna let it fly. Spoiler alert, or whatever. Warning. Federal FBI warning. What do I want to tell you? Oh yeah, perimenopause, rage, and also a lot of really fascinating and long-awaited, like, body positivity. Like, where did this come from? Not that I didn't have it to a certain extent before, but like, it's almost like somebody planted a tree and the roots finally grew in. Like, it was there. It was cute. But now it led oak tree overnight. And I'm just like, I'm about to be 46 years old. And I have never in my life had the kind of body that society deems is appropriate for blah, 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 doesn't fit into the single digit sizes, doesn't do the things like puff up in the places it's supposed to. And like, look, I was very flat chested for a very long time and I was sad about it. And then I had babies really early and I breastfed, and then I had, big milk boobies, and I really liked those, but I could not breastfeed forever, and they were just as ski slopey and sad as ever, and I still had some feels about it. And what I'm actually trying to say is that lately I have been having this moment where I am so in love with this body that I have, because I am able. And that all by itself is so amazing. I was just watching this documentary on the plane coming back from Wax's house. Hi, Wax. I miss you. Give your baby a kiss for me. And hi, Wax's mom and dad. Hi. I watched this documentary that was called Facing the Fall. It was about a woman with degenerative muscle disease who decided to take on the Grand Canyon, just to show people that it's possible to be, not fully able to, like, be the light of positivity for people who are debilitated in some way. I'm like, what is the, I can't always remember which one's the PC term. I'm sorry. I want to not be ableist, and therefore the good terminology is handy capable. I don't know. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. I just told you. I just woke up. We're going for it. Anyway, that movie was amazing. It made me cry a lot. And if you get a chance to watch it, highly recommend. But it just got me thinking about, like, I'm real lucky. The only bone I have broken, knock wood, is this guy a couple of times. This Pinky, which, we like her, but if we lost her, it would not significantly detract from my ability to do anything. Which is why it's okay that we have a contracture now. And I tore a hangnail. It's not bad. It's just annoying. I am strong and fierce and capable, and roller derby has given me so much agency for my aggression and like my capacity to see that like I'm not fast. I don't need to be fast. I am. My mom always told us that we are, we're like field hand type people. That's who we come from. I don't come from blue bloods. I come from peasant stock. And what can a peasant do? Work forever. Just keep plodding along, doing the thing. I can do that in sport as well as in other parts of my life. And that is a lovely place to be. And not being able to fit into a small dress size means that I had babies really easily, which is another thing that I enjoyed doing. I liked being pregnant. What are we even talking about? Hi, this is usually a YouTube video about like knitting and stuff. We could talk about that. Do you feel like talking about that? I showed you my crazy mess of a room, which is about how things have been going for me lately. I am feeling very prolific and not, what's the word? Also probably like I've had one too many hits to the head because word finding for me lately is beast. Not organized. I am not organized. I don't feel like that's really hurting me. I organize the stuff that I care about, but like, so what? I didn't fold the laundry. So I shall talk to you about the crafty things. Thank you for coming to my 12 minutes of like, hey, I feel good. Except that it's cold and I wish that it was a little bit warmer. But look, I get to wear 75 knits. The only thing I don't have is knit pants or underwear. One of these days, maybe I'll try knit lingerie, but I don't think so. It doesn't really feel like it would be a good use of my time. I might make a ripple bralette and see if it's something that I just want to live in for the rest of my life now that I'm giving up on looking like I have large, perky breastises. But that is neither here nor there. Okay, should we start from the bottom? Dun, 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 socks. Socks that I didn't weave in the ends for. Socks that I chose poorly on what to use for the heels. These are Andrea Mowry's DRK Everyday Socks. I'm still not sure if I like them because they sag right here, but I think that has to do with this very soft yarn that I chose. I use very stiff sock yarn for the rainbow part, and then very soft yarn for the toes and the heels, and that was the wrong choice. Don't do it, friends. Yes, we do love a soft, cozy sock, and it would feel so good on the toes, but the heel is not a good fit. It was not a good idea. It makes them saggy in a weird way, and I don't like it. That's my TED Talk. This is my TED Talk. Get me out of here. Why do I always... Because the internet told me how to talk. What if I spoke in a completely different manner? More like, the voices in my head after I read one too many British Regency novels. No. Okay. Then we've got, look at her. She's so cute. I'm like, how do I get my chin shadows out of the way? Look at this. I bought this yarn together. Not the same dye lot. We're having a two-tone moment, friends, because look at the hat. Okay, so this is by Two of Wands. Is a free pattern. It is called the Summer League Cutoff. I didn't swatch. It's Kobu, Lion Brand Kobu, which is a cotton bamboo blend, not nearly as splitty as the new Boo True Boo stuff that was all bamboo, rayon from bamboo. This was I mean, it was a much shorter project too, so like I wasn't as frustrated with it. I banged this sucker out in a couple of weeks, which was awesome. And then this is the free breakfast hat. Free pattern. Ugh. You know what I didn't do either? I brushed my hair. Don't care. This, I, again, didn't swatch. This is Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. I stopped on my way from the tattoo shop to the hospital because those are the two places that I work sometimes. Totally goes together, right? And bought myself this lovely sort of fall orangey. It's called Copper. And then I started the hat and I was knitting and I was following the pattern according to like how long is it supposed to be? 4 inches of ribbing and then 9 inches from the, oh wait, I ran out of yarn. But it turns out that I had more of this yarn in a different color that I purchased while Wax and I were in Denmark. Knitting for Olive, Heavy Merino, ding ding, same yarn, different colors. Don't care. This one is the Marzipan colorway. It's a weird choice, but I'm here for it. I'm trying to decide, and you can decide with me, if I want to style it as though it were the conversationalist hat, because that one does this deliberately and then has a completely different color for a big old pom-pom. And wouldn't this be fun with like a, I mean, well, a dark green is nice, but like a nice, rich brown, like cocoa brown. Like this is sort of a pumpkin-y, orangey color. I mean, copper. Yeah, it's a coppery color. And then this kind of cream. Wouldn't it be fun with a brown pom-pom? But also, it's kind of fun without one. It's too big. I don't care. I'm going to let my partner try, again, to prove himself knit-worthy. He has a problem with loving to launder and not always paying attention to his laundry because he's in the middle of doing other things. And felting the hats that I make him, which is why I've never made him anything bigger. And then this, do you remember this? No, maybe you've never been here before. So why? I mean, you probably wouldn't have made it 17 minutes into my madness if you hadn't, but this is my hand spun turned into my version of The Reluctant Homeschooler by Caitlin Hunter. Boop. And she's a scratchy delight. Like a child wouldn't want to wear this yarn, but I like it. It's not so scratchy that it's like makes you not want to wear it. But it's not the smoothest, softest, like whatever yarn ever. And as I wear it, the sleeves are starting to shorten themselves, but they're just about right, even so. Well, not that I like spend a ton of time holding my arms out anyway. But so those are all the things that I have wearing. And these two things are both finished objects since last I saw you. Like I said, feeling pretty prolific lately. What else have I been up to? Here, here's how much of this I have left. I think it was like 17 grams remaining or something out of a 50 gram skein. So we'll see if we can turn that into a contrast color or a little bit of Fair Isle or whatever on something else. You can't really see it over there, but whoop, right there. There are 2 balls of yarn that I also purchased while I was in Denmark that I was thinking I would use all 3 of them together. And now I have significantly abbreviated how much white I can put in it if I were to continue with that original ply-on. There's nothing in there. Okay, here, in work in progress. I'm being hilariously slow. I was not sure. Oh. I was not Ma'am, what are we doing? This tail, she's so funny. Work in progress. I knit these socks and knit them and knit them and knit them. And then, well, they turn out to not be exactly the same length. But I finally put in my first afterthought heel. Dun, dun, dun. I'm still using the Fish Lips Kiss heel for a $1 pattern. It's getting a ton of views for me. I really love the construction of this particular heel. It just makes my brain happy because not a lot of counting, not a lot of picking up stitches, other than because I decided to make an afterthought heel. And I didn't do a perfect job because my kitchenering it back together at the end seems to have formed a ridge, which might not feel good in shoes. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen because I was planning on giving these to my mom. If they're uncomfortable, she's not going to wear them. I would be sad. So I, once again, am back to hesitating on the second sock. I think I have to cut in a different spot. I picked the dead center of the row, like where this guy is. That's where I'm gonna, like, that was where I cut. And I think it would unravel better and like be easier to pick up, because then I realized all of a sudden that I was picking up in one direction and putting them on the needles, but then I would need to be able to backtrack and go the other way, and I wasn't using double points, I was using magic loop. And so that wasn't really possible because I was doing it while I had another pair of socks on the other end of the giant needle, because I'm silly like that. And so I think for the start and the finish of it, it'll work better if I make the little at the edge and pick it up 32 stitches in one direction and back. And then I will have one contiguous piece of extra yarn that I can then use to kitchen her back together. I think it'll work. We'll find out. It might not. But also, that should mean that the tail of the heel yarn, because this is an extra little guy that I'm using, which I've got hidden away inside of the sock so I don't lose it. Cute purple. That should be able to sew up any hole if I have just not quite enough yarn at the end once I put it all back together again. We'll see. It took me months to put this one heel on. It wasn't hard. It didn't take very long once I was actually doing it, but there's something about it that just made me hesitate. It didn't feel like a good project to do at work because I was worried about getting interrupted in the middle of needing to pick up all the stitches. And then it was so easy. It felt very silly. But then I did one and I didn't want to do the second one right away. And I don't know why. So that was a pair of socks. I'm not using a pattern for that, except for the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I am just picking up and going. That's a lie. I did use a pattern. I did use a pattern to try out a different toe. And so the toe was a free toe for a very rounded toe. Isn't it nice and round? Yeah. So I followed a cute little tutorial type pattern for the toe. She's like all over my mic, isn't she? I don't know. I'm sorry. And then socks seem to be my go-to for work. So this time I just went from top down. We did Fish Lips Kiss again with a different color. These are minis from a trade that we did in the D-Stash Discord maybe 2 years ago. It was like getting close to Christmas. It was either last year or the year before, but I don't know how long I've been on that Discord anymore. Because there's like 6 of us left that still talk regularly, and everybody else is just lurking, and every once in a while they come and say something, and I just am like, tell me about your life. How have you been? Anyway, sock. This is an ancient ball of Knitpicks Felici that has been in my stash for quite some time. I have not had a Knitpicks order in a very long time. Thank God, in light of their carpet beetle problem. If you haven't heard about that, go Google it somewhere else. I know very little, and like I said, haven't ordered from them in years, so care very little, other than I hope it didn't happen to you. If so, I'm sorry. That's still sock number 1. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a contrast color toe, because you saw that I don't make very tall socks. I don't love the like huge sock. So I usually have enough to finish the toe in the same color. I mean, case in point. But maybe this time I'll do heels and toes that are contrast. Probably. I just play that ball all by ear. It depends on how I'm feeling, you know? Sometimes I just go for it. Okay. Now it's time for some fun news about a few acquisitions. I was having another like buy nothing month for September. But of course I was visiting wax in a new place, and yarn is like my favorite souvenir. So I did, oops, spoiler, whoop, I did end up buying a few things from a yarn store local to her at lovely Canadian exchange rate. Since, you know, the Canadians have decided that we can kick rocks in light of the giant Oompa Loompa in the White House and his ridiculous tariffs, it felt like a privilege to go and spend some money in a place where I had a good exchange rate and not have to worry about anybody getting tariffed. That was fine with me. So let's see here. How do I want to run this? First of all, I'm not even tired. Oh, no, sorry. That's my pigeon voice for Don't Let the Pigeon Stay Up Late by Mo Willems. Highly recommend for everyone with small children who wants to put them to bed, because it's hilarious. I am looking at my little pot of yarns here that are in this big ridiculous, look at this bag my mom gave me. It weighs like 10 pounds because it's real leather. She got it from the JW Home. Oh, is it reversed? I forget that we do that. Anyway, they were going out of business. She bought everything at a steep discount because that is her way. So let me tell you the story of my mission to. I was being so good and I was not buying yarn, but I really wanted a neck pillow for my very long travels to get to wax, because she doesn't live like a direct flight away. So I had to do some traveling and then some traveling and then some traveling. And I was like, a neck pillow seems like a good idea. And I was originally going to do the thing where I crocheted a tube and then like shoved other clothes in it as a way to like pack more stuff. I was only going for 6 days, and my carry-on luggage is more than adequate for me in 6 days. I'm not a super like fashionista, must bring everything. It just was, all I'm always usually worried about is bringing at least 2 physical books, as if I couldn't just Kindle Unlimited to my heart's delight for 0 books in my bag. And like I had a couple of crafty projects. That would be my other finished object. I can insert a picture maybe, except I wasn't going to do any editing, but I made Wax's whole family, basically. I mean, technically I guess it's for the baby, but really it's like fit all the way across the bed. I crocheted a blanket out of some lovely self-striping yarn. I started it a week before I left, and I finished it at 3 o'clock in the morning before I left to go home because I was gonna finish it, dang it. And I'm not sad about it. It was really cute. It was 660 grams of mostly, what do you call it, Lion brand mandala yarn. They all have silly names like Centaur and Warlock, and then some various whites. And it was really cozy and it was fun to make, and I had a good time. And again, it was a free pattern. I also made a couple of raccoons. I don't know if I showed you any of that before. I went to the thrift store where my daughter works to say hi and get a neck pillow, and I found one right away for like $5. Sweet. Way better than getting one brand new from Amazon for 30 or whatever and worrying about it arriving in time. But then I also found a cute bag that I could use as my like carry-on bag. It has the cool strap on it so that when you have the rolly bag, this thing just goes like attaches and can sit on top of the rolly bag. And it had a zipper bottom, so that is where I could hide all of my like books and my journals and my pens. And then they were in my bag and with me at all times, but also not taking up like the main part of the space, which I just put yarn in and snacks. Because really I needed yarn and snacks and a charger. And it was great. It was also like $7, and then I looked for them on the internet, and they're like $60 brand new. Not that it was necessarily in the brand. Not that my brand was like $60 worthy, whatever. Because mine is like cheap pleather and canvas, probably mostly. But anyway, I had found a couple of things that I liked, and I was checking out, and I get to use my daughter's discount because I am her family, and I was paying almost nothing for the things that I had found. I was very pleased. And then I was looking at the like very expensive items. I don't know if your thrift store does this, but the one where she works, they have, it's like they have the jewelry display case kind of situation, but then they also have a bunch of like big weird or like very expensive or like fancy brand name stuff that's all kind of lurking by the registers. And I was looking at this thing, and it was like it was buried partially under something else that very much did not. It looked like it looked like the base of a papasan chair. It was just like a big weird circle, but it was totally wrapped in cloth. And later somebody said they thought that it was like a quilting frame, which would make sense. I didn't need that. I like to think about the fact that maybe someday I'll do some quilting, but do I need to own a quilting frame right now when it looks like the bottom of a papasan chair and I'm obviously a little bit strapped for space? No. So I kept looking at it, and then I was like, hang on a second. And I looked at it, I'm like, and my daughter was like, Mom, I think it's a spinning wheel. And I was like, that's definitely not a spinning wheel. But then there's paperwork hanging off of it. The bag, hang on. It's right here. It had a whole bag of paperwork just hanging off of it. And so I just dug that out, and it told me the magical words, warping wheel. And I was like, wait, what? Oh my God. Because, yeah, I have been looking for a warping board. I thought a warping board would be a reasonable thing. I didn't want to spend $100 on something that I could very obviously make with, a little bit of time and effort and some math and maybe a couple of purchases from a Home Depot. Because yes, I understand that I could buy it pre-made, but the markup on the knowledge is so steep. Like it's a wood frame with pegs coming out of it. Like, tell me the raw materials for that cost more than $20. I dare you. It just felt stupid. So I couldn't bring myself. And so, I've been like watching eBay every once in a while when I think about it, and like Googling occasionally, maybe somebody's having a sale, or like looking at Facebook Marketplace. But I'm also trying to avoid putting myself in the position to like run into stuff that I shouldn't buy that is all over all of those places. So obviously, oh my goodness, this girl. You want to be on the internet with me? I just kept, failing to find the thing that I was looking for. Or it would be like associated with a loom that I wanted, but it was like another $400. I'm not going to get another loom. Dear God, I'm barely using the one that I have. It needs to be warped again very badly. And then once I'm done with this warp, I have to start over with figuring out how to warp. And my original attempt was such a hassle and was not actually very successful in a way that I did not enjoy, because I was doing the thing with like the tables and like the centerpiece and like a giant ancient can of tomatoes that my partner got from the big lots before they died. Man, what am I going to do with you? I swear she's brushed up against this thing about 12 times. I'm sorry. It's just, what if I, okay. How about that? Anyway, the warping wheel at the thrift store was marked at $89.99 US dollars. And with my daughter's discount, it cost me like $60 and some change. And then I got home and I discovered that the woman who bought this and donated it, I don't know if she passed and people just threw it together and donated it on her behalf, but her original purchase order is in here. When she bought this thing, it cost her $700 and some change. And when I looked for it on the internet, it now costs over $900, which no wonder this wasn't on my radar. I didn't know a warping wheel was a thing, because that is well beyond the scope of what I would consider to be prohibitively expensive for crafty things that will not directly make the thing that I want. They will just help me to start making the thing that I want, which, that would be like purchasing a cast-on machine or something for knitting. Just for $1,000? No way. But here, look at some of the other goodies that came up. Wow. I don't even know what's going on in here. I'm probably missing some vital part that I didn't think of. Well, there's my receipt. $68.58. Excuse me. So, these are the bits that fit at the end of the arms. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an extra one, so 7. I haven't even opened this part because I bought it the night before I had to leave. So what did I do when I got home? I left it somewhere inconvenient to everyone. Just had to leave for travel in the morning. What? It's an empty plastic bag. And then a cut open plastic bag. Empty plastic bag. What on earth? And then it says warping wheel hardware pack 5. Warping wheel hardware pack 6. And it's like carriage bolts, flat washer, hex nut. Wow. So this is literally the stuff that everything came in to put it all together. Unreal. Is there anything in here? Oh, that's cut open. What on earth? No. Oh, look. Bubble wrap with nothing in it. Please explain. Okay. Sorry, maximum crinkling. That is a level of keeping that I would not do. What? Okay. So this is one extra bobbin. The first thing that I held up, it was for a warping wheel cross maker. Do I have that? Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, I do. Oh, it's attached. Sweet. Okay. You want to see this? Hang on. I've just walked you a couple of feet forward. Look at this beastie. She's huge. This should maybe be Mrs. Yarn. And Clotho. Well, no, if that's hilariously, they should all be Mrs. Yarn. And it should be like the weaver and the spinner and whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not up enough on my Greek mythology right now to think through all the names. But here's the piece. This is the cross maker. This is the thing that you use to separate everything. Don't actually ask me how to use this. I am definitely going to have to do some deep diving onto the internet. My understanding is that you can use this not only to make the warp, like all of these guys are all going to live off the ends of this. Boop. And there's 6 of them. There's 6 spots for them. I don't have a thing that like holds the yarn across the room to unspool it, but I have one of those from my Kiwi, from my Ashford spinning wheel. So like I have something that will work for that. It doesn't tension, but I could figure that out. Oh, wow. This was purchased September 29th of 2019. That's not even that long ago. Received 10/18/19. I should like email this lady and see if she's still alive. Tell her thank you. It has her personal address information, which seems very dangerous. What were you doing? Why would you leave this paperwork in here? Somebody did not understand that they were donating that. I mean, other than the part where it makes me feel like I got an amazing deal. Here's the packing list. Lower base with feet, upper base with feet, vertical, drum assembly, magnet installed, put in large Ziploc bag, rattle support assembly, brake cord tension tie-up, digital revolution counter. Yeah, look, you can't see it. It's hiding. Oh, honey. Oh, don't you, oh God. Okay, that was dumb. It just injured my other. Well, rude. New kids breaking the old kid. There's a digital revolution counter. Rattle mount with adjustable rattle holder. That's that giant beastie with the tines. Spoke, 6 total, standard, with weights. Yeah, it does feel weighted. There's things attached at the back here. Stationary rattle holder, 8 dent rattle, top with rattle retainers. Spools, 7. Hardware pack. Assembly instructions, hard copy paper, put in plastic sleeve. Warping wheel cross maker. Yep, that's here too. This guy, I don't know what this guy is. Is that the rattle holder? Adjustable whatever? Is that what this thing can be for? Yeah, I don't think this is where this goes. I think this is supposed to be over here where it's separated because it's got a little pin but somebody who was making sure that all the pieces went together and got away from here, from the house, just installed it wherever they could. Like, okay. The packing list is sort of like maybe the most useful part of this, because now I know what things are called and I see that everything is here. $60, you guys. I mean 70, but $60. Holy crap. I got it for like 10% of its value at the original purchase price. It's huge. Ow. And weighted. And this thing's trying to kill everyone, apparently. Yeah. Why? Why are you trying to hurt us? But anyway. Yeah, so this is my fun new toy to play with. I have no idea how to use it. It's a little bit terrifying. I will definitely have to do a lot more work. It is made by AVL. Yeah, I don't know who they are. Does it say? It just says AVL Links Looms Inc. Wow, okay, brain. AVL Looms Inc. If you have any questions or concern, you can reach us at, maybe I can be like, bro, tell me how to use this. Do you have a fun video on how to use this machinery now that I own it? That'd be good. So that was my main acquisition, which, what a delight. It's enormous. And then okay. And then I went with Wax to the yarn store. It was like the last day of my visit. And I got Ancient Arts Yarns, Vancouver. The colorway is Vancouver. Tell me without telling me that you're planning on going to British Columbia in the new year. I was originally going to do this thing that Wax was really excited about. She was telling me this particular yarn dyer and their partner, this is Ancient Arts Yarn. Socknado is the name of the yarn. It's 80% superwash fine merino, 20% nylon. It's a fingering or sock weight, 385 yards or 350 meters for 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. Hand dyed in Canada, made in Italy. It's super soft. I thought I was getting out of my superwash yarn phase, but I was too excited about this not to get it. Okay, hang on. Look, I finally went off camera. I've been waiting. So Wax is telling me that this couple, one of them is a photographer and takes pictures, and the other one uses the picture to be inspired. And there was a much more blue jay or jaybird inspired skein of yarn, but you know I can't resist a green and teal scenario. And so this one had to come home with me instead, but I still wanted the pretty picture because blue jays remind me of my grandparents' house. They had so many noisy ones in their yard when I was a kid. And that yard doesn't exist anymore. It got subdivided and turned into a new house, which is so sad. But blue jays have been making me think of them a lot lately. And then I think that these are supposed to be for, I think they're technically supposed to be for like felting. But I thought I could use them to play with on my, with all of my wools, whatever. What's the word I want? Blending board. The word finding. She ain't great. This is Canadian wool roving from the General Bean. No specificity of wool, so could be anything. In the colors emerald and light purple. which are basically the two places that my brain is currently obsessing. Green spectrum, purple spectrum. They go together. Sort of, not really. And then, where'd it go? Wax and I are going to do a buddy project. We bought one skein of yarn together. It's cotton. It's missing. I don't know where it went. I must have been petting it and set it down somewhere. Shall we see if I can find it? Shall I go digging around in my mess? Donde? Oh, well, yeah, I should show you guys that in a second too. It is not very obviously anywhere. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, feels like my brain in here. Not always in a good way. That one. Is it in here? Yeah, here it is. That's what I thought. Okay. James C. Brett, Cotton Waves, 100% cotton, DK. Oh, hang on. My dumbass went all the way out to the dining room looking for this cool thing that I bought at a little craft show, and all I found was the incense, because this was in here. Good job, Catherine. So proud. Look what I got. It's a trivet. It's a crocheted blueberry pie. Delicious. I want to figure out how to make these. It's so cute. This was made by a nurse and sold at the craft fair by her parents. It just says one-of-a-kind crochet handmade pie pot holder. Did not specify who it was made by. Cost me 10 Canadian dollars. It's so cute and soft. This thing being so soft, and some of the other items at their shop being so soft, I have to put the incense down. Hang on. Was the part of the inspiration for Wax and I to decide we wanted to buy something with a lovely. Okay, look you. There we go. There's a cat there. She tripped me. Buy a lovely soft cotton, because this is a lovely soft cotton. This is a lovely soft cotton. Obviously, those are colors I enjoy. This colorway is called, Shade WV05, Dye Lot 25. Great, super helpful, thanks. Could have sworn it had a name, but no. Cotton Waves. We're gonna make a beret. Will we wear cotton berets? Is that a thing? Is that a thing you would wear? I don't know if I'll wear that. But what else I got to do? I don't need any more yarn, and I just can't stop buying it. It's a problem. And then here, last but not least, Sophia, when she sent me all of that gorgeous yarn, she snuck in. Did I show you this before? Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And soft and sheepy smelling. Bramble Ridge, huh? The price of eggs. Speaking of, what's his face? Oh yeah, and then okay. Am I done yet? I'm pretty close to done. Hang on, let's pause and move back so I can sit down. I was laughing because oh boy. Hang on. Much rustling probably. My hair just keeps trying. Chef's hat? Oh, yes, obviously this is how I should be wearing the hat. Yeah. Delightful. In other news, this here is volume 52 of my journaling endeavors. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I started keeping a journal when I turned 18. And 46-year-old self is a little bit annoyed at 18-year-old self, assuming that other people would find her journal and read everything and not keeping good detailed notes, because now I'm like, bro, you had so many more things to say. You should have said them. But one of the things that I picked up from the bullet journaling community is that now I always do a little monthly spread. Yes, you can see it's always the month on one side and then the money on the other side. And then sometimes I do goals. Sometimes I just long form journal keep, because that is my usual mission. But I was looking at this because I'm like 5 pages away from finishing it. Oh, here. I also peeled the sticker off of a beer that I drank while I was visiting Wax, because how cute is that? Cat Lady IPA. Yeah, I'll drink that. I'll drink that all day. But I have a list of goals, and so I was glancing over my goals list here to read 50 owned books without purchasing all 50 in 2025. I have 3 more books to read to reach that goal. To listen to 50 new albums from the 1001 album generator, which I did. I think I'm going to be done with that particular app, because they seem to be only generating a very specific subset of like weird, like house and rock music mostly. And I'm like, Orbital. Who are Dexy's Midnight Riders? If it's 1001 albums that you absolutely have to listen to before you die, how are you going to have 2 different albums from Dexy's Midnight Riders and not a single like 90s hip hop album? You've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Okay. So that the musical genres that this thing tends towards is like, yeah, you're right. I haven't listened to a lot of that. And no, I don't necessarily need to listen to the entire of Dexy's Midnight Riders. Sorry, guys. That I was not blown away by the first one, and when the second one came up, also it like shames you if you don't listen to them exactly when they happen. They come out every day. You're supposed to listen to a new album every single day. And sometimes I don't have time, or sometimes I don't really want to listen to whatever it is that they're suggesting, because that's not how music works for me. So, but anyway, I was glancing back at my monthly goals, and I was laughing because almost every month, finishing Eileen's sweater, do a big bingo square, also has Eileen's sweater, or finish Eileen's sweater, or Eileen's sweater. It's like the number one goal over and over and over again. And I haven't touched it a single time. So what am I planning on working on? Eileen's sweater. It's time, guys. It's been a couple of years that I've been sitting on this, and that's not fair. And it's starting to make me feel guilty every time I see my coworker, because she's a delightful human, and I want to do this thing for her, and her husband, Eileen's son, the actual recipient, the original recipient of all of this. I'm intimidated because our gauges are wildly different. And nobody necessarily is ever going to wear this sweater. Their kids are too big. Maybe a grandchild? But it might be too scratchy to them. Who knows? Who knows? But I have to at least try. And I'm not trying. I'm just sitting on it. Like, okay, fine. So do some gauge swatching. Like, figure out if you can match her gauge. Because the thing that was wrong was not the stitch count. It was the row count was wildly different. Like, hers were long, narrow to my wide, fat, short, wide. I don't know. It was different. They were quite different. But maybe I need to not focus so hard on it. Maybe I need to just like relax and enjoy it. And maybe then I will have a gauge that matches hers a little bit better. Or maybe I just let them be wildly different so you can tell where it was Eileen and where it was me, so that they can see where, where their loved one was working and how the sweater is supposed to look when it's finished. Maybe, but they're not knitters. They're not going to even realize. That's the other thing that's stupid, is like, why am I hesitating? It's so unfair to them and me, because I'm guilt tripping the crap out of myself. It is unnecessary. It's not helping anyone. And I just keep piling stuff on top of it because I have so much guilt. I don't need any more guilt. I already grew up in a waspy household. Not that my parents were super bad about that. And then this was supposed to be like a summertime sweater. That never happened. What was it? Denim silk. There she is. The Eileen sweater, unearthed from the bowels of the pile. Oh, here she is. I mean, look at this beauty. Let's revisit, shall we? It's a child sweater. 3-color Fair Isle. Super fat yarn. I'm like, I could finish this week. Like, I got the week off. What am I doing? Seriously. The two things that I've been meaning to do. Eileen's sweater, which, what was the name of the pattern again? It's such a good pattern name too. It's like Black Midnight or something. Delightful. Midnight Sun. That's such a cute name. I mean, they call everything Midnight Sun. We find out later, but it's such a good pattern. And then warping my loom, which does not require any real brain power once I get it tied on and wound on appropriately. And now with my warping wheel, maybe I have something that like can tension the yarn the way that it should. I don't know. What am I hesitating for? To make another hat? I mean, I do love an accessory. Let's be honest. This was so satisfying. I finished it in like 4 days. When's the last time you made an accessory that satisfied an itch? And the socks are just cruising right along. I made 2 cute raccoon toys in like a day and a half. I made that whole baby. It's enormous. It's like the width of a full-size bed blanket in, again, like 2 weeks. When I get going, I am prolific. So where do all the hesitations come from? Well, I'm busy reading 57 books a week. None of them highbrow. I don't know. And yet I still kind of feel like life is slipping away from me. I'm busy. My kids are pretty happy. My house is relatively clean. I mean, it's messy, but it's not dirty. You know what I mean? Like, it's disorganized, but we vacuumed last week. That counts, right? Especially with all these animals around. No, like, there aren't terrifying things everywhere. Other than, like, Soft yarns, piles of woolly soft yarn. I want to make something out of this really bad. Speaking of things that are distracting me. And my goal this month included go where the vibes take you. Well, the vibes took me into accessory land and just finishing stuff and having fun with it. Okay. Is there anything else that we really need to talk about? What else is going on, man? There was a No Kings protest. I didn't get to go. I was doing derby, but the showing was awesome. Well done, friends. Oh, she's so pretty. I can't believe I've hesitated that long. I haven't been doing any spinning because, Tour de France is over. Apparently that's when I do the majority of my spinning. I've been doing a ton of little easy knitting, and I want to get into some bigger, harder knitting. I want to hit my stash where it lives. I have been looking at the quantity of yarn that is in my possession, especially because it was like, oh, it's your birthday in like 2 weeks. What do you want for your birthday? It's like maybe a gift card for Ravelry patterns, because I don't need any yarn. I don't need any books. I don't need any more clothes. I thought of one thing that we could use. I told my daughter to keep an eye out at the thrift store, because I want to have a better way for all of my plants to maximize the sunlight coming in our very few south-facing windows. And we have an IKEA desk with a glass top that's like being used for something else in the house that is not very efficient for that use. It's, like where the Xbox is sitting under the TV. This is a desk that's like a foot wide. And then it has like black metal framing and clear glass top. And that's about all that's there. And I think it would be a great plant stand because you can't wreck it because it's glass. Like you can't, if I accidentally overwater something, I'm not going to like warp the glass like you can with wood. And because it's clear, the sunlight will still come through. I could do multiple layers then, because some of them are underneath the thing and some of them are above, and it wouldn't like, I think it would be a good use of the space and the furniture we already have. So I asked her to keep an eye out for some other type of furniture that could go under the TV and hold the Xbox or PS4. I don't know, the video game controller thingies that I have nothing to do with because they live in the basement and I don't go down there much. That's the man cave. And my mom has brought me home such beautiful yarn from Ireland. That was all like last year. Haven't used it yet. I have sweater quantities. I have patterns that are total stash busters. I have every weight or size of knitting needle known to man. And I just found that warping wheel, which, is a new toy to play with. And like I have a loom. If I would just stop being scared of warping it, I could run through yarn so fast. I could make bolts of fabric and then use them to sew things. I have miles of thread and a functional sewing machine. I mean, yeah, the possibilities are endless. I might never leave my house again. That's like the crafter's dream. I could just never leave the house ever again. I could just sit in here and make stuff until the world ended. I mean, it wouldn't be a very efficient use of my time in terms of like improving things because, women's work, all of these lovely biodegradable things, they just disappear into the ether and then it's like we never existed. Sorry, I've been listening to a book about, 20,000 years of women's work, or like women's something, I don't know. It was like, basically it was like crafting since 20,000 BCE. We've been doing it, but where's the evidence? Oh, it couldn't possibly exist. Oh, but it does. What am I talking about? What's happening here? What day is it? How did we get here? What time is it? I think I'm going to run to the library. I think I'm doing another bingo for another bookstore, and one of the bingo square I'm having the most trouble with, because it's not like obviously listed anywhere, is getting books from an indie Minnesota press. And I know that we have lots of them because I had a friend that worked for one, but I don't know what they've necessarily produced this year. And I found a book that looked cute and from the list of things that other people have listed. And then I found that they have a physical copy of it at one of the libraries in town. And so I want to go get it. It looks cute. It was called Native Love Jam, maybe, I think. It's a romance novel. Native people are involved, and maybe also jam making. And I'm here for all of those things. I am so glad that we could catch up today. I hope that you are having a lovely time doing whatever it is that you are doing, that you get a chance to go look at the fall colors if you have such seasons in your life, and that you enjoyed this, whatever it was, and that you do something that makes you happy this week or today, tomorrow, whenever you have the time. I hope that you are finding joy in your own little tiny universe and spreading it around to the people who coexist with you. Bye, friends.